focusing on the theme of perspective and how it is that we, well, you know, when you're working with a camera, there's an angle and a position that you want to find the best angle, the best perspective to be able to take the right photo, right? Well, there's also the lens, right? And we can change the lens and we can make it a little bit more soft or focused, or maybe even black and white or color, all sorts of different options, right, on the filter. Well, in yoga, what we're working with is that posturing, the posturing of literally the angle of the body in its relationship to the space around it, but also the lens of perception that we're using when we are doing the practice with ourselves and with the world. So during this time that you are probably rearranging a lot of things inside of your home, as well as finding a way to find the right angle and the right space and how to use the space within your sheltering in place space and how to do all of that, you're also needing to work with the kind of lens through which you're perceiving the world as it is right now and how it's emerging into a new norm. So that's what I want to have the practice be today, an opportunity for us to explore that a little bit more in our yoga practice. Okay, so we're going to start out with a movement that we've done in the last few classes where I call it around the clock. But it's a shifting yourself into a weight distribution forward. Imagine that you're stepping forward with the right foot into the number 12, right? And then you're going to go over to the 1. And then you're going to go to the 2. And I'm just kind of pulsing back and forth twice into each foot position, then to the 3, to the side. And what we're doing here is we're warming things up. We're just kind of letting ourselves start to soften into the knees, soften into and bring awareness, the quality of contact that you have with your foot on the mat or on the floor, and then come back. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side, but this time I kind of want to play with this idea of angle and perspective. So turn yourself to the side and just start to notice what it's like to lead from the left as you come pulsing into the 12 and then to the numbers around the clock. And then notice what's in your view when you're turning to that side. And start to let yourself be aware of the lens of perception that your body is using while you're practicing. I'm going to spin around again, this time finding the other angle and leading with the right foot and just going around this way. Now notice, does it feel more comfortable with this position facing in that direction? Or does it feel more comfortable in the last position or the first position? Just noticing. And also to let yourself become aware of what inspires you. What is the visage that inspires you? What is the way that you want to face or angle in the perspective of your practice? Quite literally in the space. Now, I guess I can turn my back to you. So I'm going to turn my back to you and I'm just going to go this way, around the clock, going to every one of the 4 directions. And as you do this, start to notice again. Maybe this is the orientation that you want. I'm not going to do this as my orientation because, well, I don't want to turn my back to you all the time. But it is kind of fun to imagine finding the best angle in the room, or maybe even you're finding out that you don't even really want to be in that room while you're practicing. Maybe there's a much better place. I tell you, this morning I got to practice on the dock out by our pond. That was cool. All right, so now you've gone around the clock, and now maybe you've even decided to reorient yourself in the space in a different way so that you're actually facing something that you find inspiring. All right, now we're going to go up the body through the joints of the body. So starting out with the ankle, just rolling the right ankle out. So have you thought about that? Have you thought about how you want to create an environment, go ahead and circle in, that really inspires you? And having an angle on the world that inspires you. Come on to the top of the foot. Roll onto and stretch out the top of your foot. There you go. That's a place that doesn't get stretched very often. And then we're going to go to the other leg and circle out with that ankle. So again, we're working with our sense of contact that we have with the floor, like we did earlier with that around the clock. Go ahead and circle in. Start to warm up and kind of turn on the sensory perception of your feet as you're circling around. That's it. So you're getting into the bottom of the foot, the ball of the foot, and then stretching out the top of the foot. Freeing those feet of yours that may have been stuck in some shoes for too long. Right? All right, and now we've got warmed up toes a little bit. Maybe you want to flare your toes out a little bit just to feel that sense of display. I do this with my hands too because it helps my feet. Actually, you can use your hands as a cue to help your feet do the same. All right, from there, now we're going to circle the knees around. And I like to put my hands on my knees, as well as I thank my knees for all the good work that they've done to be able to carry me thus far in life. And let's circle around the other direction. So you might want to thank your body as we progress up the body, each of the joints of the body can be an opportunity to say thank you to that part of you. All right, now we're going to progress up into the hips. So circling the hips, I like to widen the stance just a little bit more so that you've got a nice solid ground. Go ahead and bend into the knees and let yourself drop into your feet even a little bit more as you circle around. So let your hips find this full range of motion that's available to you right now. So you're coming back and then to the side and then forward and then to the side. And then reverse the circle, so you're going around the other direction. And just feel the quality of the movement. There might be little hitches, there might be little glitches, there might be little places where your lower back says, ooh. If that's the case, soften and slow down and go into the knees just a little bit more so that you feel that cushion of that connection through the lower legs. As well as maybe make your circle a little bit smaller, right? Just becoming slow and aware. In the background right now, there's a storm that's coming in, and so there was thunder just coming through the sound in the background. So there really is a storm happening in the background right now. All right, from here, let's bring the hips square and feel that sense of good contact with the mat. And then we're going to swing the arms and open up the space between the rib cage and the pelvis. So we're going to swing the arms around, and as you swing the arms around, go ahead and bend it into the knee that you're turning into. So you're swinging and letting the arms just hang down, flopping around, in fact, actually tapping gently onto the ribs as you come back. So that it's just a gentle percussion, kind of a gentle stimulation, as well as not only warming up that waistline area, but also all the way up and through the crown. Really, you're twisting the whole spine. And this is a nice way to just get that upper body engaged as we move up into the shoulders next. All right, so shoulders are next, rolling shoulders back and down the back. Feel the way that you can alternate back and maybe shifting the weight into that leg and that hip and that heel. That's it. Letting this be like a little gentle massage for those shoulder muscles that tend to work a little too much for us, right? They try to keep us up. All right, let's lift and roll back with the elbows so that you're starting to open up the shoulders even more. Alternating back and then leading from the wrists. Imagine that you had some balloons that are tied to the wrists, lifting you up even higher, and then all the way up and through the fingertips. So you really feel that stretch on the side seam. Each time you go back, you're paddling back and feeling that opening through the whole long line of the body. And then we're going to reverse So you're reaching in a forward crawl, moving forward, extending through the fingertips. Really feel the length of the whole body all the way through the fingers. And keep on going, and then we get to soften it just a little bit, layering down into the elbows, and then into the shoulders. All right, now both shoulders rolling back and down, and both shoulders rolling back and down. Both shoulders rolling up and down and forward. That's it, just starting to release any of that tension that might be holding in the neck and shoulder area. Being a massage therapist, I know a lot of you have it, and a lot of you haven't been able to get massage, right? Oh dear. Anyway, interlace fingers back behind, and let your shoulders lift up and slide back and down as your elbows come out to the sides. There you go. All right, now we're going to inhale, lifting the head up. Exhale, draw the elbows toward each other as the chin comes down to the chest into just a gentle forward fold, chin to chest. You're feeling that length of the back of the neck? And then open up with the inhale, lifting elbows out and wide as you gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhaling down again. Just a couple more times. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And down. Just slowing yourself down a little bit more to feel that sense of connection to the back of the neck. And then one more time. Inhaling and exhaling down and forward. As you come down and forward, let's just hang. And then begin a circle or rotation, just drawing the ear to the shoulder. And then lengthen up, gazing up at the ceiling again, and over to the other side. Your shoulder, circling all the way down, letting the elbows hang down and forward. As you come up and around, you can open up the elbows, opening up the front of the chest even more with the circle. And then let's go the other direction. So circling around the other direction, leading with the elbows, opening up as you rotate upward and down as you go downward. One more time. And roll down. As you roll down this time, let's actually soften through the knees and roll down into a forward fold. So letting your head just hang. Maybe there's a little decompression. And letting your hands rest on the back of the skull so that it's lengthening and opening up the back of the neck. Open your eyes and just see the world from this place. Maybe there's a different kind of perspective, a different lens, or maybe it's a different angle for certain, right? All right, now release the hands and then slowly roll up. Let's just stack the vertebrae by vertebrae. First hips, then the rest of the spine up to the chest. Open, roll the shoulders back and down. Close your eyes for a moment, just placing hands onto your thighs, or maybe bringing hands up to Namaste, up to the prayer position in front of the heart, palms together, and just pause for a moment. Just pause for a moment. And just to notice the habitual lens through which you perceive the world, and how that may have already changed just from doing a little bit of a warm-up of the yoga class here today. Okay. So we're going to move into a little bit of breath work. And the breath work we're going to do with the hands. So we're going to bring our arms down and then scooping up with the inhale. And then exhaling the arms out wide down to the sides and touching the thighs. And this can be all done with the breath through the nostrils, through the nose. So inhaling up. And imagine that you are, as you're breathing this way, that you are bringing yourself into a place of inspiration. It may be that you can focus on that area of wherever it is that you're practicing that is the most inspiring to you. Or it may be that even in your mind's eye that you travel to someplace else, someplace that does inspire you. Or maybe there's a thing, like an object, that you can use that will remind you, that you can focus on as a totem that takes you to that place that is inspiring. Wherever and however it is that you get there, find that angle of perception that inspires you with the breath. One more breath cycle. And this next time, bringing the hands to the heart. And pause. Just breathing there. All right, from here we're going to move into a couple of power poses that are inspiring poses. So the first one we learned from a 120-year-old woman. Yes, a 120-year-old woman. And she said that she did this every day. At the beginning of the day, this is one of her secrets to the long life. So starting by just cupping your hands, interlacing your fingers, press the palms down and away. So you're feeling that stretch in the back of the arms all the way into the palms. Raise the arms up overhead and then extend up, letting the shoulders drop back and down, lengthen through the back of the neck, and then let yourself start to explore, just lifting up to one side, maybe lifting up slightly to the other side. This isn't about how far you're going as much as it's about exploring with the movement, pressing up and away. So imagine you are a 120-year-old version of you, and you're still doing this, you're still practicing yoga, it's fabulous. And so the other thing that I think about as, conjuring up the inspiring lens through which to perceive. Sometimes we call in these archetypes, these qualities, these characters that we admire, or people that we really want to be like. We want to emulate, or that we consider to be mentors, or we admire them. So we can call in the wise one, the wise old woman, the wise old man, the sage self we're calling in right now to just give us the download through the palms all the way down through the arms, and to give us the lens of perception, of wisdom, of clairvoyance, clear vision, and guidance that offers insight to us. All right, bring the arms down. And then just let your hands touch your thighs. Close your eyes, just receive that. From here, bring the arms up into a V of victory overhead. And think of pressing down into the floor and pressing the legs away from each other. So you're really engaging not only that downward movement, but that away and outward movement. Got it? Extend the arms up, same sort of thing. You're extending up away from those feet and then pressing out. Imagine that there was something that you could press out against, so that you're opening up and getting those long lines of the side body activated, as well as you're feeling that sense of extension through the core, lengthening down, pressing out, lengthening up, pressing out. Now this pose is a power pose, and it is significant in that it invokes the experience of victory. Literally, this is the universal posturing of celebration and victory. This is what everybody does as they cross the finish line, when they make the touchdown, when they won the game, when they feel a sense of accomplishment and yes, So letting yourself look through the lens of success, look through the lens of victory, look through the lens of I did it. And it doesn't have to be a huge thing. Like, we need to acknowledge these subtle and simple things that we achieve. Like, you're doing this video right now. Like, yes, victory to you for that and the practice of yoga. All right, now bringing the arms out. Let's place the hands so that they're on our, well, actually just pause for a moment. Just relax into and pause and feel. Can you feel that in your body? Don't you feel a sense of excitement that's going on inside of you? Yes, that is actually a biochemical experience that you're having. All right, so let's shift into the next posture. So widen out your stance so that you're all the way out to the edge of the mat. Again, we want a sense of grounding down and pressing out and away. And you'll feel it a little differently when your legs are out wider like this. Okay, now we're gonna bring the hands up onto the hips. Loose fists. Press the chest wide. Not so that you're thrusting too far forward, but just so your elbows are at your sides. So your elbows and your wrists are pressing down. Can you see how when I do that, that it lengthens through the front of my chest? So we want to feel that sense of length through the front of the chest, length through the front of the body, pressing down into the heels, pressing out and away to the outsides of the legs and feet, and then up, feeling that sense of confidence. This is a power pose I call Wonder Woman. You can call it Superman as well. There's that feeling of I am here. I'm here. I'm grounded. I'm competent. I'm confident. Maybe you can conjure up one of the people in your lives that you see them as being that, and you start to look at and through the lens of their perception. You know, what would Wonder Woman be seeing in this moment? What would Wonder Woman or Superman be feeling in this moment as you hold this pose? Feeling that in you. Yes. All right, releasing that. And then let's move into a breath that's kind of opening everything up. And I love it. It's one of my favorites. It's called the breath of joy. Now, the breath of joy is a 3-part inhale and a single exhale. So it looks like this, feet parallel, hip distance apart. We're going to inhale with the arms out in front. Then we're going to inhale again with the arms out wide. And then we inhale again with the arms up overhead. And then we exhale, swinging the arms down on either side. And let your exhale be a real letting go as you come up again. Now this movement is similar to the movement of a conductor, meaning that they go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So that's the movement that we want to conjure, is that sense of connecting forward, connecting and opening, connecting above, and then letting it all go. Okay? So here we go. And make this sound if you want to as you exhale out. Letting go of anything you've been holding on to, maybe old lenses or angles of perception that need to let go. One more time. And just hang down. Go ahead and hang down so that you feel that sense of length through the back of your legs. If your hands touch the mat, they can touch the mat. And walk your heel toe yourself out a little bit wider. And then go ahead and hold on to your elbows and just swing from side to side. Soften through the knees, because the backs of your legs are probably saying hello. Let yourself swing back and forth gently from side to side. And then release, rolling up. Vertebrae by vertebrae, coming up. not least breath warm-up is the one that I call the 2-year-old grounding exercise. A 2-year-old demonstrated and taught me this years ago. So you just start out. Imagine you're putting on the lens of a 2-year-old. So you're not worried about anything or what anybody else thinks. And you just start bouncing. Now let your heels kind of gently bounce and feel that sense of movement and ease and fluidity into the joints of the knees, into the joints of the hips. And then let the shoulders relax, and let the arms relax, and let the wrists and fingers relax. And let the jaw relax, and the eyes relax, and the skull relax. And so you find yourself so that the whole body is just in a complete letting go. And you can make a sound that sounds kind of like what only a 2-year-old would know how to do the absolute best at. And that's that. Just guttural. Let it out. Let it go. Just find the silliness and the one who doesn't need to edit anything. And he gets to just go. One more time. And then just come to stillness. If you want, you can bring hands to the heart center again. And just feel the difference in your body now. Now you're warmed up. Now you're ready to practice the hatha postures. All right, so first of all, we're going to start with mountain, the primary standing posture. Bring your feet so that they're parallel. So the outsides of the feet are parallel. It may mean that the big toes maybe even touch. And then let yourself feel that sense of ground like you did earlier. Sinking into the heels, sinking into the toes, the balls of the feet. I like to think of the 4 corners of the feet. The inside and outside of the ball of the foot, the inside and outside of the heel. So you're really feeling all 4 corners dropping down and in to the earth. All right, bringing your arms up overhead. We're going to interlace our fingers and then index fingers point up. This is a position that's called the temple position. This is your little steeple up here. And we're going to extend up with the arms, but well, just try this first. Lift up. You can lift your ears up, your shoulders up to your ears, and then slide the shoulders back and down while you lengthen through the back of the neck. Feeling that sense of your height is actually coming through the crown of your head. Okay, so you feel that sense of dropping down into your feet, grounding down into your legs, bringing up the squeeze so that you're engaging the front of the quadriceps, lifting up the cap of the knees, and then letting yourself lengthen through the front and lengthen through the back and lengthen through the sides of the body. All right, now we're into the mountain pose. And from the mountain, we're going to go into half moon. Now half moon, we're going to lift up slightly and arc over to your right side. So you feel that sense of length through the whole left side seam? That's what we want. Now we want to keep the movement on a direct fold over to the side. So you're not coming forward, you're just sliding as if you were between 2 panes of glass and it wouldn't let you fall forward or back. But instead, up and over directly to the side. As you do that, see if you can breathe into the spaces in between your ribs. See if you can ground down out into that left outer leg and foot. Feel that sense of length, and then lifting up even more, back up to center. Pause at center. Maybe just feel the difference between the 2 sides already. And then we're going to extend up again with the breath, and over to the other side. And as you come over the other side, it may be very different than the first side. So just make note of where it is, how it is that it feels. Breathing into that side and feel that sense of lengthening through the side seam, through the waistline, through the rib cage, through the back of the armpit. Lengthening up and over. And as you stay here, I don't know if you're feeling it, but I can feel that there's a place where if I breathe into it, there's a slight give, there's a slight deepening into the stretch. As you hold the stretch with a certain amount of tonus, with a certain amount of elongation, meeting that edge of the stretch that's yours, you're also strengthening your core. And you're feeling that sense of greater length. All right, inhaling back up to center. And then open the arms out wide, palms up until you reach the horizon, then rotate down, come down to the thighs, and then close your eyes and just receive that posture. Receive that in your shoulders, receive that in your spine. Mountain and half moon. Now the other thing that I wanted to encourage you to do, along with finding the right space, with the right inspiring vision and angle for your perception, I wanted to offer the idea of using the space, interacting with it in a slightly different way. So if you had a wall available to you, then I'm going to suggest that you use the wall. If you don't have a wall available to you, then what we'll do is you can just stand and do this. But we're going to go into the standing squat. So standing squat is a shifting. I'll show it on first in standing, and then I'll show it on the wall. So feet are parallel, hip distance apart. Extend the arms straight out from your shoulders, and then we're going to bend into the knees, dropping the knees straight out over the toes. As you do that, then you'll feel a sense of engagement in your quads, in your lower back and your hips. Okay. So we're going to do that movement, but we can also do it on the wall. And if you have a ball, meaning one of these gurney balls, which I know many of you do, you can also use that with your back up against the wall on the gurney ball. So I'm going to tuck this behind me, and then I'm going to roll down or walk down until I'm in a standing squat where I've got the support of the wall and the ball on the wall behind me. And then I feel that sense of dropping down into, but I also feel that sense of this supports me to find the right position for my alignment of my spine. So I feel like I'm not going to go too far back, right? And I'm not going to go too far forward, but I'm going to feel that sense of alignment of my spine as I come into the squat. So that means you may need to move your feet out a little bit farther to be able to find that place of alignment. When you find that place of alignment, I'm going to encourage you to drop into your heels. As you drop into your heels, can you feel how that engages your hips, your buttocks a little bit more? If you press down into the forward or the balls of the feet, you'll feel it more in your quads. And then if you drop into your heels, you'll feel it more in your butt. Okay? So we're going to start out with it in the heels, and then we'll move forward into the to working with the quads even more. Although I have to admit, the quads are working, right? You can feel the burn probably happening already. All right, let's come up a little bit. And then, feeling that in your body, we're going to do this again. We're going to go onto the balls of the feet. So, finding your center, and then extending the arms, and then we're going to come up onto the balls of the feet and drop into the knees even farther. Now, if you're standing, what you'll want to do is probably think of, instead of lifting the heels up, think of pressing down into the balls of the feet, lifting up. I guess either way. If you're against the wall, that's kind of the same sensation, thinking of lift the heels up, pressing the balls of the feet down into the floor. Now this is, if you're not up against the wall like I am, it is a balancing pose as well. So it's using a lot of visual focus for you. Maybe gaze upon that which inspires you and feel the strength through the visual support to keep you in your alignment and balance. All right, let's drop the heels, drop the arms, and come up to standing. As you come up to standing, just pause again, feeling the effects of standing squat. Now, standing squat definitely can get the heart rate going. It's one of those postures that is so good for activating the will and activating the sense of circulatory flow, right? You can probably feel that. Okay, now you're really warmed up, right? Okay, so from here, we're gonna move into warrior pose. So step forward with the right foot, maybe step back with the left foot so that you feel that long stance for your opening into warrior mode. So this version of warrior, we're going to start with the hips facing forward, and then shift your weight into the front knee. And as you shift your weight into the front knee, make sure that the knee doesn't go past the toes, so that there's a square or a right 90-degree angle there on the or at the knee. Okay, so now lift up through the back leg, through the heel, so you're extending into the balls of the feet, giving yourself even a little bit more length. And then bring the arms up on either side of the shoulders. Palms can face each other and arms can be directly out of the shoulders. Or another option is to bring the arms into temple position. Now from here, think of lengthening through the front of the left hip. So this elongating of that leg back behind you, but lifting the heel up at the same time. So there's an interesting dynamic there as you press down and lift up through the foot. You'll also feel that sense of opening through the front of the left hip a little bit more if you lengthen up through the chest, maybe shifting your gaze up to where the ceiling meets the opposite wall, or even all the way up to the sky as you bring awareness to opening like the warrior has an open heart, maybe bringing in that filter of the warrior in you. What would the warrior see in this moment? And I mean the peaceful warrior. Okay, and then opening up through the arms. Let's bring them down on either side of the front foot. And then maybe shift the right leg, it's your left leg, back a little bit. And drop that knee to the mat. As you drop that knee to the mat, go ahead and shift your weight forward into that right foot. You may inch that up like I am a little bit, so that you feel that stretch through the front of the left hip even more now. Now lengthen through the body so you feel that sense of lift. It may be that you need to lift yourself up onto your knee to be able to lengthen through the front of your upper body. And feel that lengthening deep stretch through the front of that hip even more. Okay, and then bring the arms up again, kind of like we just did for warrior. It's a kneeling warrior version, lunging forward. Great. And then bring the hands down. And now we're going to step forward. Now your body might not be able to just step forward all the way up for your left to meet your right foot. So you may need to shift your knee in just a little bit, kind of inchworm it forward, and then step forward. And roll up. Pause for a moment, just feel the difference in your body already. That's one side. Can you feel the difference between the two different sides? Yeah, probably. Okay, so we're going to step back with the right foot. Maybe step back a couple times. And feel the difference of what it's like to go into the posture as a stepping back as opposed to a stepping forward. This is interesting in the exploration of doing yoga to go in and out of the postures in a different way. Will offer a whole different sensation of the posture itself. Okay, so details here. We want to bring that knee over the ankle. We want our feet to be parallel, hip distance apart. Lift up the back heel, press down into the ball of the foot. Lengthen the arms up on either side, up, out, directly out of the shoulders. Let the shoulders drop back and down. Open through the chest, lengthen through the front body. Feel that sense of opening through the heart, calling upon that inner warrior that is the peaceful warrior that has strength, focus, stamina, determination, and an open heart. Yes. Do you know somebody like that? Maybe you can call that archetype forward into and through us all. In this time, we really need that open-hearted, peaceful warrior self to emerge. All right, let's bring the arms down and then place them on either side of the foot. You may want to inch the front foot forward or inch the back foot back, drop the back knee, shift the weight forward, getting a deep stretch to the front of the right hip. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can bring your hands up onto the knee and then feel that sense of length as you drop even farther forward, opening up the front of the right hip. Keep on breathing. And then bring the arms up and lengthening through the whole front body. All right, bringing the hands down on either side. Let's lift up the back knee and maybe hop back just a little bit and walk that foot forward. Roll up to standing. And feel that in your body. All right, from here, let's walk back again. I'm going to show this to you. I've got my mats this way and this way, so it's easy for you to see me. So you're going to do this leading with your right foot, and you're going to extend that leg forward in whatever direction that you're planning on focusing upon, and then back foot is slightly turned out so that the heel of the front foot is going toward the instep of the back foot on that angle. Okay? Nice long stance, and think of pressing down and away from each other with the legs. We're going to extend the arms straight out of the shoulders. We're coming into another version of warrior. So let yourself, I just turned like that so I could see where this arm was in space. Sometimes when things are behind you, we just kind of lose track of their positioning. So it's always good to check on that. It's nice to have a mirror in your room wherever you're practicing too. Or if you're practicing at night, another secret is to use a window, and then you can use a window for seeing your own reflection. Okay, so now as you stand here, you're feeling that sense of ground and safety of the warrior energy bubbling up within you. We're going to bend into the front knee, and then we're going to shift our gaze over those fingers. Feel that sense of strength and stamina in you. And then directly from warrior, we're going to go into triangle, or version of triangle. So lean forward slightly. You're just kind of sliding the rib cage forward. And then a couple different versions here. We've got either we can come over and place our forearm on the thigh and bringing the arm up and over that way. Or we can slide down and then rotate the palms out, slide the arm down the inside of the lower leg, gazing up at the left hand and sliding into triangle. If you want to, you can always lean on the thigh here. Maybe you can shift that. Okay, and then coming up, straighten the front leg. Bring the arms down. Bring the feet parallel. And just pause for a moment. We're going to do the same thing to the second side. So turn the leg out. Turn the leg in. Check the positioning of your feet. Actually, walk this out just a little farther. There we go. And then extending the arms straight out of the shoulders, bending it into the front knee. And again, what we want to do is maintain a 90-degree angle here so that your knee is over your ankle. No, not past your ankle, okay? And then bringing the arms to whatever your version of triangle may be. So slide the rib cage forward and then going into triangle that way, or sliding the arm down the side of the lower leg. Gaze up at the fingertips or the thumb of the extended arm above you. This is a deep core strengthening posture. It pretty much activates everything here. So really good strengthening for stamina, perseverance, focus. Okay, and then rotating the arms, sliding back, extending front leg, and then let's do a forward fold. So as you come forward, let yourself fold forward, feet are parallel, wide stance, and then draw the elbows out as you draw your upper body down. Now pause for a moment. You can soften through the knees if your hamstrings are starting to complain. And then pause for a moment, just feel the perspective of this kind of inversion. Now if it feels a little awkward to be placing your hands on the ankles, go ahead and place them in front of you to help with your balance if it feels like you need that. Or you can soften through the knees for the balance. See if you can lengthen through the tailbone, lengthen through the pelvis, and let the head and neck drop even farther down. Now again, notice the perspective. What's it like being upside down? What's it like seeing the world? What's it like to have the blood coming into your head right now? All right, bring the hands in front of you if you haven't already. And then toe, heel the feet together. And then roll up to standing. As you roll up to standing, again, pause. Just feel the difference in your body. Again. Maybe pausing to invoke someone who is the filter of filters that you really want to use as your filter for the next posture. The next posture we're going into is the star and its complement, the goddess. So we're going to step our feet really wide. Turn the feet out slightly, about a 45-degree angle, and extend the arms out wide. Similar to that V victory pose that we did at the very beginning, think of pressing up and through the crown, down through the tailbone and the pelvic floor, down through the heels, out and wide, as if you're shining, beaming your starry self, your radiant self out into the world. You are a star. So maybe invoking whatever's your favorite star, whomever it may be. It may be a poet, or it may be a performer, it may be an author, or it may be an Olympian. Feeling that star radiance moving through you. And then its complement. Soften the elbows, soften the knees. Let yourself feel that sense of opening through the chest and opening through the inner thighs. This is coming into the goddess. Now the goddess pose, we want to have the tailbone dropping straight down. So my tendency is to tilt it back. So let yourself, I don't know what yours might be, but let yourself drop the tailbone straight down and letting yourself come into that goblet kind of shape, the Holy Grail, the chalice of the goddess pose. And call in the goddess. My favorite kind of female divine deity of goddesses is Kuan Yin. She is the goddess of compassion and unconditional love. And so that's what I like to call in, especially for the parts of me that can come in and be very self-judgmental or critical. And so calling in that goddess energy that is your loving divine mother energy version, whether it's Kuan Yin or whomever it is that example, that model for you. All right, I know I've been talking and holding this posture, and the reason why I've been talking is partially because I really want you to feel this posture. Can you feel it in your hips? Can you feel it in your arms? Yeah. Okay, let's stand up into star again. And then we're going to come down, placing our hands on our thighs. Now here, let your shoulders, this is one of those few times that I'm going to say, I'm going to encourage your shoulders to come up. So let your shoulders come up and let your tailbone drop down. And as you drop down with the tailbone, see if you can find that depth of stretch through your inner thighs. Now let's just shift the weight from side to side slightly. And this is the pose I call the sumo. Don't you feel like that kind of sumo energy, that really grounded sumo energy, that you have a lot of connection to the weight of your body and its connection to the earth, right? And feel that sense of that strength and stretch through the inner thigh. And now we're going to do a little twist and turn with this. So we're going to lift up slightly and drop the right shoulder forward. As you drop the right shoulder forward, twist over, gazing over the left shoulder. Inhaling center. Twist and gaze over the other shoulder. A few more times here. Center. Exhaling, twist. Center with the inhale. Exhaling, twist. Yeah, you're probably feeling it. I know. Here we go. Feeling that heat building. One more time to each side. Exhaling, twisting. If at any time you need a break, please do take care of yourself, okay? Dropping down. And then we're coming back to center and sink into center. All right, and press into the arm, or press into the legs, and lift yourself up. Letting the arms just drop at your sides. Toe heel yourself back to center. And bring hands to Namaste, just feeling that in your body. Whoa, can you feel that energy rising up through your lower body and legs? Yeah. Oh, maybe your heart's beating a little bit faster. Mine is. Okay, from here we're going to go down into downward dog. So I'm going to turn to my side so that you can see it that way. And we're going to walk our paws forward and bring your hands so that their fingers are splayed. So the weight is evenly distributed between the fingers and thumbs, and your weight is going to just shift back and forth, pressing through the heel and bending the opposite knee in your lower body. Just warming things up here a little bit more. And then from here, let's lift both heels. Lift both heels and lengthen through the tailbone. Imagine that you had a long tail that you could lift up. Press into the hands, bringing your ears parallel with the insides of your elbows. So you've got that length going on through the crown all the way through the neck. And then let the heels drop back and down into your version of downward dog today. Feel that dynamic extension through the arms and pressing back through the legs while lifting up through the tailbone and extending through the crown. That's it. All right, now shift the weight forward. As you shift the weight forward, you can come onto your knees if you want, or you can shift the weight forward into upward dog, letting the hips drop back and forward, or down and forward, and then lifting back up into downward dog. We're going to do that again. So I'm just going to demonstrate. You can let your knees drop, and then extend the hips forward, opening through the front of the chest. This is called upward dog. And then coming back up again, lifting up. All right, from here we're going to go into mountain climber pose, and it's just to lift up the leg toward the elbow and press back. Lift up toward the elbow and press back. Just alternate. Imagine that you're climbing a mountain and you are shifting the weight from side to side, trying to find that perfect place for that foot to rest on the mountainside. Calling in the mountain climber in you. All right, and then go ahead and come down onto your knees. Press the hips back into child's pose. Extending the arms out in front of you, just walk the fingertips out until you feel a long
little stretch through the top and the upper body. And feeling that sense of length through the tailbone, back and down. As well as just surrendering, just feeling that sense of letting go into the earth. You are held. You are supported. Mother Earth is always there, always holding you.
All right, let's roll up. And when we roll up, we're going to come up onto sitting back on your heels, okay? The next posture I want to show you is called Yoga Mudra. Yoga Mudra, I love the idea of this, as well as the idea of posturing and the symbolism, that this is putting the heart in its rightful place, so they say. And that is that we're going to do an inversion where the head is actually below the heart. So it's putting maybe the head in its rightful place as well, which means that who's on top? The heart. So we're going to bring the hands back behind, interlace the fingers. I'm going to just warm up the shoulders a little bit first. So roll the shoulders back and down, and then extend the arms. Now, if your arms do not extend back behind you like this, another option is to get either a tie or a towel or a piece of fabric or something that you can hold on to so that you can extend your arms back and down. So you hold on to that. Okay. Now, if you don't know what we're doing to go into Yoga Mudra, you might want to watch me do it first, because it's one of those that you can't do it and watch at the same time. All right, so it looks like this. So we're going to come up and bow forward. So you can see I'm lifting my seat up off my heels, and I'm going to bow forward, first placing my forehead gently onto the floor. Then I'm going to lift up, and I'm going to tuck my chin to the chest and just gently place the crown of my head on the floor. Now, another option is to use a blanket or a block that you place in front of you, and you can put your head on that depending on how far forward you can fold comfortably. So we're going to do this. So we're bringing chin to chest, then gently touching the crown of the head to the floor. Lift the arms up overhead, so you're getting a really deep stretch through the shoulder girdle. And then to come up out of it, we're going to bring ourselves back, reverse the movement, and release. Okay? So let's all do it together. So we're going to roll the shoulders back, open through the chest, lengthen the arms back and down. Feel that opening through the chest, lengthening through the shoulders, lengthening through the arms. Lift your hips up, fold forward. First, bringing forehead to the floor. Find that sense of balance there gently. This might be the place that you decide that you need a block or a bolster or a blanket underneath you. If not, let's just gently lift up a little bit, tuck the chin to the chest, place the crown of the head onto the mat, and lift the arms up and overhead even farther. Now you can explore this a little bit with the breath, rolling the shoulders back and down, lengthening up and over. Feel the perspective of this bow, head below the heart. And then using your arms, reach up, shift the weight back, lift up. And then settle back on your heels and release the hands. Close your eyes, just receive this posture. Just breathe, receive. So slide all the way down onto the belly. Now tuck your elbows underneath your shoulders. Palms are flat on the floor, right in front of you. And extend through the legs. So you're extending through the legs so that you feel that sense of length through the front body, all the way through the legs. Tops of the feet are flat on the mat. And then bring in that squeeze, kind of tilting the pelvis slightly forward, pressing the pubic bone into the mat. Now that helps to stabilize and support your lower back so that you don't injure yourself, okay? So we want that lower back active, lower body active to protect the back. All right, from here, we're gonna press down into the floor with forearms, lifting the upper body out of and from the floor, lengthening into Sphinx. This is a Sphinx pose. Lengthening up, and then roll yourself down. So you roll yourself down, let's just bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Roll the shoulders back and down, tight with the elbows to the ribs. Again, bring that squeeze up, pressing in the lower back, or lower body, pressing and supporting the lower back. We're gonna lift up into Cobra. Extend through the chest, lengthening through the front body, opening up all the way through the crown. Bring in that energy of the Cobra power, rising up and coming all the way down. This time as you come down, let's just turn the head to the side. Arms extend down to the sides, bend at the knees, then just crisscross the legs back and forth behind you. Maybe turn your head to the other direction and keep on crisscrossing, just stretching out the neck a little bit more. All right, extend the legs, bring the arms up underneath your shoulders, press yourself back, and we're gonna go into a child's pose. And with child's pose this time, let's bring the arms over to the side. So you're extending the arms over to your side, and then dropping the opposite hip back and down. Surrender into and feel not only the stretch through the back body, but you're really feeling it through the side seam as well. Breathe into this. And then slowly walk your hands over to the other side. And you go to the other side, stretch across, drop the opposite hip back and down. Breathe into it, surrendering into this. Alright, and then walk the hands back to center. And roll yourself back up. Alright, what we're going to do now is a couple of seated postures. So fold the legs underneath you and extend the left leg out in front of you, bringing the right knee to your chest. From here, bring your hands so you're kind of stacking them like I Dream of Jeannie. And around the knee, extend through the crown of the head. So you feel that sense of length through the upper body, but also that you're sinking into and pressing down through both sits bones. Extend through the left heel, flexing the foot back, and feel yourself pressing into the right heel into the floor next to the knee, or next to the thigh, I guess. And then letting yourself feel this is the posture that's called the sage. So feel yourself being in the wise sage filter and sense of perception, softening, opening, allowing, and strong. Alright, release that, and then let's bring that knee over, or cross the leg over. And then we're going to hug with the opposite elbow. Now if that's a little bit awkward for you or it doesn't quite fit, then go ahead and hold on to the outside of the knee with your hand. Now we're going to place the other hand behind us. So your sense of support there, it's kind of like a little training wheel support. And extend again through the front heel, lift up, pressing into the sits bones, and then rotate, gazing over the right shoulder. Just feel that each breath is an opportunity to deepen into the stretch. So you feel that sense of lengthening through the crown, exhaling, rotating, gaining even a little bit more of a stretch through the spiraling up and twisting the spine. Alright, and then let's release that. And then from here, let that right hip fall out a little bit. And let's bend the left leg and draw it up to the chest. Now can you feel a stretch there on the back of that right hip? Here's another version. So go ahead and make sure that there's enough space behind you so that you can actually lift up and go back. But what we're going to do is lift up and rotate back onto the back and just draw the knee up. So you're feeling that sense here. I'm just going to do it this way as well. So you're going to hold onto the back of that leg, lift yourself up into a stretch, or you can even extend that hamstring up and get even more of a stretch. Okay? And a little bit of core work here. We're going to slide ourselves back up. Okay. Unwrap that leg. And then we're going to extend that leg out in front of us again and come into sage on the second side. So extending the right leg, right heel, drawing the left leg, left heel pressing down into the floor. Right hand onto the outside of that knee. And, oh, sorry, first of all, sage. Coming on to either your genie arms and feeling that sense of length through the spine, pressing down through the sits bones, and find your inner sage. Yeah. Channeling the inner wise one again, the sage self. Alright, now we're going to cross that leg over. Same thing that we did to the other side. Now we are going to hook on with a hand onto the outside of the knee or with the crook of the elbow and support ourselves so we can lengthen through the spine, support ourselves with the other arm behind us, like a kickstand, and then extending through the right heel, lift up, rotate, gazing over the left shoulder. Each breath, another opportunity to deepen into and spiral toward that side. And then soften it out, coming back to center. Now this is like a figure four stretch, that's what it's called. And we're going to bend through the knee, lace through the legs, and then, here, I'm just going to switch this, and then lift up, rolling back, feeling that stretch through the hamstring, feeling that stretch even more through the extended leg, hamstring if you extend the leg, and then feeling that stretch in through the back of that left hip. Breathe into that, and then let yourself roll up, coming back onto your hips, okay? Untie that leg, and then we're going to continue with a little bit of core work. So from here, we're going to lift the toes up, holding onto your knees, and lift the toes up. Now see if you can let go of the knees and bring the arms out to your sides. There you go. Now, you're going to get a little bit more of a core strengthening opportunity if you extend the legs out. Now some of you are kind of like, I don't think so, but even if you lift them up to about a 45, or from a 45-degree angle to a 90-degree angle, you'll feel it. Yeah, you'll feel it. All right, so from there, maybe we just extend one leg up and back down, and the other leg and down. And if that is starting to grip into the front of the quads, go ahead and hold onto the back of the legs and just extend them, alternating that way. That's another version, okay? And then for those of you that really want the ultimate challenge, you can drop just one leg with legs extended, okay? Now from here, all of you can hold on to your knees and make sure that you can rock back and that there's nothing you're gonna catch on if you rock back. Hold your knees and rock back and then come back up and balance. So, rocking back and coming up to balance. And this next time if you want to, extend the arms. So, rocking back, coming up to balance, extending arms, maybe extending legs. Rocking back, coming up to balance, extending arms, extending legs. And coming back down. Oh, is it about time to get down onto that back of yours? Maybe. 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 Okay. So let's have you roll back down onto your spine. And if that means that you want to lower the lights a little bit so that you can do that so you're not glaring into the lights above you, you can do that. All right, from here, knees are bent. And you can place your heels about hip distance apart beneath you. If you extend your arms, it'll be just like, they'll be a little bit farther than what your fingertips can reach, okay? Arms at your hands, palms down. Arms at your sides, palms down. Your hands, palms down. Okay, roll the tailbone up and just gently peel the spine off of the floor. So you're letting yourself lift up and then let your spine roll back down again. And you're just going to alternate between those movements, lifting the spine up and then rolling it back down. A couple more times. And then we're going to go up into the bridge. So the bridge posture, as you're going up into the bridge posture, depending on your flexibility, strength, and just what's here today, you can either just stay here with your hips coming, think of lifting up in your hips, pressing the knees away to the opposite wall, and pressing down into your heels. So you feel that sense of activation into the lower body. And then if you want more of a stretch to the front of the upper body, we'll walk the shoulders underneath, interlace the hands. See how that opens up the front of the chest. Lengthen through the back of the neck by tucking the chin to the chest slightly. Extend the arms down onto the floor, pressing down into the floor, lifting up. So you really feel that stretch and opening through the whole front body with bridge. And then walk the shoulders out. Roll the spine down and then hold the knees or draw the knees to the chest and just rock from side to side. As you rock from side to side, breathe into the lower back. Letting yourself find that place of relaxation, opening support into Mama Earth behind you. And go ahead and extend your leg, and we're going to bring this leg across into a spinal twist. So drawing the leg across the body, and you'll come onto your side slightly. That's okay. Maybe have the opposite hand drawing that knee across and down towards the floor, and then bring the other hand out and away so that you're extending that arm back behind you. Now, extend it to different positions or different angles. You can have it be closer to the hip or higher up towards the shoulder. Find that place where you feel the comfort and the stretch at the same time. You're feeling that sense of opening through the front of the chest. And then gaze over that shoulder, rotating the head and neck, gazing over that shoulder. Breathe into this. Feel how this is definitely a different angle of holding your body. We don't do this position in our life, probably in any other circumstance. The only thing I can think of is that if I was doing some sort of strange rotating to look into the back seat of my car. All right, now let's turn the head forward and then bring the knee side. So extend that leg and switch knee up. Drawing the knee to the chest, and then drawing the knee across the body into a twist, and then extending the arm up and back behind you, finding the position that feels right for you, maybe closer to the hip, but maybe higher up towards the shoulder. Find that place where your body just sighs into and feels the dynamic stretch, rotation, and spiraling of that twist. Gazing over that shoulder. And breathing into it. And draw the knee back up to the chest. And then let's go into happy baby. This is certainly the lens that I choose often as my perspective when I can. Draw both knees up. Hold on to either the outsides of the feet, or I like to hold on to the big toes, threading my index and middle finger around and my thumbs around, holding onto the big toe. And just call in and feel that energy of happy baby. You are a happy baby. And happy babies, they just float. I call this sky walking. It's like they just float on the clouds. Their feet are on the clouds. They don't understand necessarily that there's anything to be afraid of, right? They haven't conceptualized all the stuff that we want to let go of. And they just are lifting hips, and lifting legs, and alternating, extending one leg, and then bending the other leg. And then bending both knees and draw the knees down, out and wide. Or maybe extending both legs and extending out long and wide. Or maybe bringing both legs out, extending in front of you long. And maybe lifting overhead to plow. Babies spontaneously do yoga. Or maybe we spontaneously do yoga as babies. Right? We probably all did. All right, from here, let's draw the knees to the chest. And we are heading down to Shavasana. That's right. They say the most challenging pose of all is that which is complete relaxation and letting go. So let me show you Shavasana. For some of you, you may want to support yourself, bolster yourself by placing either a pillow or a blanket or a roller underneath your knees. You may want to have a pillow underneath your head. And others of you will want to put on another layer, just kind of warm up a little bit more, maybe put a blanket over you. And eye pillows are always a nice addition as well. All right, the posture itself, however, is just to extend the legs, maybe see if you can let go of any kind of holding that's going on in your legs, and then just bring the legs so that you feel that sense of opening through the hips, and there'll be a slight turn out, like your toes will turn out slightly, okay? Now, bring the arms out to your sides, maybe roll, my hair is getting in the way, roll the shoulder blades down underneath you so that it opens up through the front of the chest, and then bring the arms out to the sides. As you do that, rolling of the shoulder blades underneath the chest, your palms will naturally be upward. This is symbolic of being receptive, so that you are open. The whole front body is really in that complete surrender place. Like a dog when it's letting itself be completely vulnerable and lets its legs and hind legs drop back and out in their bellies. That soft, sweet little belly is so wonderfully available. So we want to be like a relaxed dog ready for pets. And then let your neck be long and let the jaw relax. And an eye pillow can be really great because it helps to put just a little bit of pressure on your eyelids. But just think of that if you don't have one. You can just think of that energy of your eyes dropping back and down into their sockets. Now become aware of your breath. And see if you need to become aware of the breath, you can bring your hands onto your belly and feel the rise and fall of the breath through the belly. Or maybe you can do it with your hands at your sides, but just feeling that sense of the rise and fall of the breath. Letting go into the breath. Starting at your toes and scanning up through the lower body. Notice if there's anything that seems to be holding on. See if you can, through the breath, exhale out through the soles of the feet, surrendering lower body, letting go of any unnecessary holding or tension so that you can be at ease, relaxed, letting go. And then up with that awareness, draw the attention upward into the torso. Letting the breath move into and through the ribs, the vertebrae. Surrendering the whole torso. Shoulders relaxing back and down. And then letting that move out to the arms. Extending through the shoulders out to the arms, the forearms, the hands, the fingers. Everything letting go out through the fingertips as if you could breathe through the palms of your hands and you can exhale out through the arms. Letting go. And now imagine breathing all the way into the center of your body and exhaling out through the feet, exhaling out through the arms. And then bringing awareness to the neck, throat, face. Again, scanning through and noticing if there's any place that might be holding on and letting it go. Until again you can scan through the body and recognize any place that still might be holding on. Inviting that place to let go. Let yourself find that pause, that peaceful place of pause. And there may be an image that is something that inspires you. Or there may be the image of a mentor or someone you admire, someone who you really want to see what the world would look like through their lens. Maybe it's part of you. Actually, it is part of you. So you're calling in that part of you, that inspiring place, that inspiring person, that inspiring aspect of you. Inviting to join you with that perspective, that angle, that lens, that way of perceiving that brings a greater sense of healing, health, vitality, peace, or whatever it is that it brings. To receive it now. Take a deep breath in and let's let that settle in with a few sounding ohms. Om together 3 times. So you may want to bring your hands to your belly and to your heart just to feel it resonate through your body as you affirm with the sound this perspective. Inhaling, exhaling Om. Again. Last time. Shanti, 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 Om. Peace, peace, peace. Jai Bhagwan, I honor the light within you. May you know this inspiring way of being, of perceiving, and experiencing your life. All right, so now if you feel like you want to stay in Shavasana, you can. And if you'd like, you can also roll to your side, press up and come into a seated position, bringing the hands up to prayer position, up to Namaste, and saying with gratitude, thank you to yourself for this practice. Thank you to each other for being here, even in our virtual gathering this way. And thanks to all that is beautiful and wonderful about our world. May we perceive the beauty that is here and is always here. So I bid you farewell for this week. Namaste.